Hi and welcome back to day 3 of the Japanese Auto Extravaganza here at the Norfolk Showground in England. Today is going to be our third video. We're not having much luck here at the moment with weather and stuff, and it's still fairly early in the morning, so we're going to quickly try and hammer out a quick video, or hopefully quick, which is refitting all the trunk of the car. Now this comprises of 23 separate parts and 79 screws and clips. It's actually quite a complex thing. It's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, so I'm going to try hard not to rush it. Before we go on, as always with these videos, I like to thank the patrons of the channel for their contributions, and to you patrons, your contribution is always really well appreciated, so thank you very much. We'll just cut the video a second. I'll go through a few bits and pieces, and then we'll get on with the job. So as always, we start off with a quick look at the tools, and this is probably one of the most basic tool jobs you're going to be doing. All you're going to need for this is a couple of Phillips screwdrivers, one being a short stubby one and then a regular one. You may or may not need a pick tool and a simple plastic trim tool. Nice and simple tools. The first two parts we're going to fit are these two brackets. They are marked with a left and a right, so you can't get them wrong. And remember that left and right is always as viewed from inside the car. So if you're sitting in the driver's seat, your right hand side will be the right of the car. Now to fit these, there is 3 screws for each one, and it's these screws here. I don't know if you're able to see them. So you're going to need those, and to fit those you're going to need both screwdrivers. And now let's fit them to the car. Fitting of this metal bracket's pretty easy. You just got to know which way round to put it. It goes this way up and this way round on the right hand side. We've got a cable running under here, so you've got to go over the top of the cable and to the back. And then we've got one screw hole here and one here. So grab a couple of screws. And then this one at the back's a little bit tricky. Now if you do these up just enough that the metal can still move, but it keeps it flat, that's what the stubby one's for, then it will make the job a little easier. So we've still got a little movement there, but it keeps it upright, and hopefully that will make it easier to get this very awkward screw in. So my head's going to be in the way a bit here. We've go all the way through to the back there. And I can't find the hole. And that's there. Now I've got the damn screw. Ah, there it is. Well done. A magnetic screwdriver is always a good idea for these tricky little spots. We can do that one up tight. The other two are already located in the right place. Now we can do these up. Now, ordinarily I would do this from inside the car, but for the sake of filming we've had to do it this way. So that's one side done. The other side is the exact mirror image. I'll leave you to get on with that while I do mine, and then I'll go and get the next part. Part of the process, these side panels. All you're going to need for these before we go to put them in is one plastic clip and 3 little metal screw, what do you call them?
Screw plates.
Screw plate? Yeah, whatever. You can see what they are on film. You're going to be needing those. Now if you turn this panel round, you want this hole nearest to the back of the car, and you drop that plastic clip in. Then you've got this here. Now as you can see on the clip, on one side there's a tail that sticks out. The tail, the outside part, goes to the outside of the panel. And we're putting these on now because I don't want to fit this plastic and then drop the clips down the back, so it's easier to put them on now. Then we've got two more here. Same thing, the tail goes to the outside of the car. And one here. Okay, then on to the next one. Same thing, plastic clip nearest to the back of the car. There is another clip point here. This one is not used, so make sure you don't get the wrong one. Or make sure you get the right one, is that the right way to say it? Tail to the back, to the outside. Same for this one. And then for this one here. Okay, now we'll take these over to the car. Now for fitting these, both sides are very slightly different, but not dramatically. You'll still be able to work it out. All the same, I'm going to try and cover both panels in one piece of video. So, things we've got to watch out for. We have this bracket here that the seats clip into. Put your seats forward so you've got easy access. We've also got this here which is slightly in the way. And finally, we have this bracket here that's in the way. So you have to sort of do this jiggling act of wiggling it underneath, slide it down. Luckily these plastics are very, very flexible. I've never yet seen one break. I should have put the seat all the way down really. So there we go. Pull up your rubber a little bit and press this clip in. Now we check we're all lined up and we're ready for our first screw. Now here's a place where it's different on both sides. This one has a screw hole here. On the other side it does not. So if we try to line up that panel with that screw hole below. Over the years these have warped quite a bit, and hopefully screwing them back into position will get them back to where they should be. Next one is here. Next one over here. Now as you're putting this in, remember when they fit these at Mitsubishi, the guys are trained on how to fit all these parts correctly and position them all correctly. We don't have the benefit of the manufacturer's advice, so you're going to have to use a little bit of your own initiative to work out how best to center up all the panels. And once you've got it all together, you can start jiggling them around a little bit if anything doesn't quite line up. Now because it's plastic, you don't want to do it up so tight that it tears or deforms the plastic. It's just to hold the plastic in place, nothing more. So that's that. Now we put the rubber back on, and for this I should have brought the trim tool over. I can do it with my fingers. So the rubber goes over the top of the plastic. Now we're on to the other side. Nope. Or did I?
I don't know.
Yes, I possibly did.
And then there's also a couple that go down on that side.
No, they don't go in. Definitely not. Yes, you are right. We do need one in here. I missed that from behind. that one does not go in there yet. So onto this side. Same process, lift your rubber up slightly. Down the back of the seat.
There you go, that's the way to do it.
Yep, definitely. Right, get our little rubber, plastic clip in. Right, now one thing I forgot here, we have an electrical cable which I missed for the light. Well, there it is. So we've got this electrical cable hanging down here. Just poke that through the hole before you put the panel in. Nothing worse than trying to find a cable after it's all assembled. Just pop it in. Lift the screws over there. Don't need it. So first one I'm going for this time is here. Okay, I won't miss this one this time. I've seen these put back together in so many horrible ways and plastic damaged all over the place, and there's no need for it, you just need to know how to do it properly. Now this one here would suggest that it needs to be screwed in there, but it actually doesn't. We've got a tray that goes in here. This sits under the tray and is wedged by the tray. So don't worry about that. Okay, that's that. Next part, I believe, is the back panel. So I'll go and grab that and then we'll get that in. Okay, so before fitting the back panel, there's just a couple of other bits we've got to take care of first in order for the back panel to mount to the car. So the first one is this little spring clip here, little retainer. This goes down in here. It simply just pushes into place and wiggles around there. The next one are these little brackets here. Lost for words on what to call these things. Simple screw, and that goes just here. One on this side. Two little plastic clips, one in here and one in here. Simple push in, but try to hold on to the metal so you don't bend it as you push it in. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is a little trick, because some of these old screw holes have now become very worn, and I can demonstrate on this one for you. If I put this screw in here, that's the hole it's supposed to go in, but you can see the hole has lost all its integrity and you can pretty much push a screw in and out. If that happens to you, there is a very easy cure. Just grab yourself a pair of mole grips, do them up fairly close so there's just enough space to get a single piece of metal through there. You slide it partly around the back of the hole and partly around the front, get the teeth right over the hole and then squeeze it, and what that's going to do is make the hole crush up a little bit. With any luck, yep, that's now a nice tight fitting hole again. Ready to go. It's a nice little cheap trick if you have that problem. So, back panel. Oh, sorry, two more clips I forgot. We've got one in here. I'll show you these. Wrong way round. This way round. They do slide to allow for any movement in the plastic. One here. Okay. For those of you that aren't aware, this is where your jack belongs. There's a proper locating place for it. Now we've got to put this on. It's top first. Hook it over. Then the bottom. Check nothing's in the way because you've got cables here. If they get trapped, you're going to put a screw through them. Okay, everything lines up right. So I'm going to start with the 2 screws at the top. There's no particular order for these, but as usual, never tighten anything until they're all in. I don't think I showed you the screws that we need to put in here, so if you give me a second I'll show you on the next one. So these screws look like they have a washer around the top. They don't, it's all part of the screw, so those are the ones to use. Now for the next ones, we've been using up until now these olive drab screws. The ones we need next are slightly smaller on the head, and you need 2 of them. They go in this hole here. If I can get it lined up. Ah, there. It felt right, and now it's not. I can't seem to find the locating hole. We're in a bit of a rush to get these videos done today because the weather is not looking good. Okay. Oh, that missed totally. I don't believe it. Okay, I may have to come back to that one off video. We can't seem to get that one in. So now we've got a couple more, which when I did the demonstration for taking this apart, I forgot these 2 screws in here. In fact, they were actually missing when we took the car apart, so we're now going to replace those. top here. Same on the other side, one in each corner here. Not very comfortable with the way that's sitting, but it is 100% against where it needs to be, or the only place it can be. So I can only assume that the plastic has warped over time. So I'm going to have to come back to that one. And then finally we have the two panels here that overlap with a screw hole through the middle. And for that you're back to the regular olive drab screw. That goes through both holes and into the fixing point below. Yep. We also have one on this side. Now this one should also have two overlapping ones, but the panel behind has got a piece broken off of it. So we're going to have to skip that back one and just put in the front one. Fortunately these are pieces that don't show too much, and it won't really make any difference at all. Now I know I've got to come back to this screw, but as far as I'm concerned this is all lined up now, so it's a good time to finally just finish tightening all your screws up. This is only to hold the panel in place. You do not need to do them up really tight and risk damaging the plastic or the thread. So just a gentle nip just to hold the plastic in place. Okay, I'm going to do this one off air. You know exactly where the screw goes. I just need to know why this isn't locating properly, and we'll do that and then we'll get the next panels ready. Before we put in the next parts of the car, we're just going to go around the outside and put in all the little trim pieces just to tidy things up and give us better access. So first off is a little interior light. We left the lead outside, fortunately. Plug that into your light. Got to make sure I get this the right way up. There we go. For this you need two little silver screws. And two. A couple of things while we're putting all this together. These panels were really grubby panels. It's the usual thing that I say every single time. Just regular, mild, unperfumed soap and a scrubbing brush brings them up almost like new again. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, we're doing this sort of on the fly. We've travelled a long way from home to come to this event and to do these videos. It was a bit of a gamble because this car had all been stripped out over a year ago. Parts had all gone everywhere, all over my house, garage, whatever, all been split up. And trying to work from memory all of the parts we're going to need for this car was a bit of a gamble. So far we've not done too bad, but there was one panel that I found today that's not the correct one. So I'm just going to put in the wrong one for now, and I'll tell you what the difference is in a second. So next thing, we've got this panel here. We already put in its retaining clip, and now we just need the little screw. Goes in here. Okay, moving around. We have this one. Now you see it's got curved corners on one side and square corners on the other. They're a mirror image for the two sides, so make sure you get them around the right way. Now again, there are two types of clip. Depending on the age of your car, you're either going to have this type of clip which pops in and turns, which unfortunately is a little bit of a not really the best quality for Mitsubishi, but it does the job. The other type was put on later, which is a much better door latch type assembly, but this car didn't have this one. It's just going on here for today because it's all I've got. So you put that in there, clip in, turn the clip, and then we're on to the next one. That's one of these. Same clip, turn, done. And next one is this one here. And it doesn't want to fit, maybe because it's the wrong type for this car. Okay, you're going to have to use your imagination. This is the panel that goes here. This is just the wrong one for this model. So we're going to have to leave that off. Now, I guess there's a slight difference here because this catches on the jack. Or maybe we'll just take the jack out. How about that? Yeah, still, yeah, okay. Next one, another one of these. And another one of those. Then the opposite side to that one. That goes in there. And another one of those. And then this one. With another one of these little screws. Just notice what a difference there is in colour with these. Now I know some models have different colour panels, but this is purely because I haven't cleaned these little pieces and I have cleaned this. So what a dramatic difference a bit of cleaning does. I'll have to clean all the other bits now. So that's that one. Now we could do these. To the other side. Okay, now we're on to the tool trays. Two of those. Now you remember I said that this one doesn't screw down. That's because this is going to hold it into place. So that tab there will slot into the gap below there. It's a slightly different screw again. It's another one of these types that look like they've got a washer underneath, but they haven't. It's all part of the same screw. Don't tighten any of them down until all of them are in. 3 on this side. Light cover, well done. Simple pop-on light cover. we go. Over onto this side. This side it's 4 screws. We had planned on doing this video yesterday afternoon, but we've got a little stall set up here as well with some hard to find parts for these cars, and I brought a load along with me, and we had quite a crowd around who wanted to have a chat and buy parts, so we ended up spending a lot of the afternoon talking to people and trying to help them to keep their cars on the road. Okay, let's move on to the next bits. Next up, spare wheel. Now there's multiple types of this and they're not always interchangeable. So this is not the right one for the car, but it is going to fit. So we drop that in there, centre it up the best you can, and then one of these lovely golden looking bolts to hold it down. No chance this thing working loose. A few more trim clips. We'll put these in to make things look tidy. Again, you see there's 2 clips on the side there. They line up with the holes on there. And just pop in. Starting to look good now, and I didn't clean these either. We'll have to come round with a cleaner after. Okay, that it? Have I missed any? Oh, I think not. Okay, next, spare wheel cover. 4 screws required. Now these, I wanted to talk about these very quickly. They're suffering with a lot of problems now, partially because of neglect and partly because of age. Some of the things we're getting is the wood warping. Second one is these hinges snapping, and third one is the wood itself splitting or snapping off. I'm going to do a future video that shows how to take care of all of those problems and put this thing back as near to new as possible, but that's for the future. So we line this up, it'll drop into some holes that are already there, like so. Get it nice and flat. 4 of these screws. When I started this video for you, I had laid out on that big red sheet the internal tailgate cover that pulls over here. We actually can't put that on just yet because we need to do the internal rear quarters first, and that's a video I'm planning for this afternoon. And I believe the final piece is the carpet, which again I didn't have time to clean, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. But I I can do that later. If I haven't missed anything, I'd say that's looking pretty darn good. Compared to what this was like when we bought this car as a junker, she's starting to take shape now, and hopefully you'll get to see the finished product in a few months. So for now, from the Japanese Auto Extravaganza at the Royal Norfolk Showground in England, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.